Hello, welcome back to Once the Force, the Star Wars podcast. My name is Philip, of course. I'm joined, as usual, by Dave. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my friend of the Force. Are you doing well?
Not too bad, not too bad. Are you ready to chat some Star Wars, albeit in a very short show this evening?
Yeah, well, you literally alluded to it. There's not much out there that's happened. There is a bit of news that's happened today that's kind of given us at least a good 5 minutes of talking. But after that, it could be a fairly short episode, everyone. So maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. Who knows?
Yeah, you don't get to see my face for long, which no one wants. You don't get to see his face for long, which no one really can put up with, so it's fine. And of course,
you're right.
absentee is never here, so it's fine. Of George, of course, as you all guys all know, this is our new transition period where Dave and I will be a regular host, and George will be appearing as and when he can due to his work conflicts. Both, of course, Dave and I do wish him well with his endeavours, but he will be here with us when he can. And of course, next year when he goes to Celebration, he will be our reporter on the ground there, so everything shall be good. Yes, as you can tell by the title of the show, judging by my size, this is going to be quite a short one. It's not a huge amount of news. Our show a couple weeks ago, we kind of missed the show and then a lot happened, so bear with us from that on. There's a lot to do with that, but this one, not too much. But we'll kick things off with, it's news. It's not great news, of course. It's not the worst news it could be, but John Williams will not be conducting the London Symphony Orchestra this Friday. He's doing a bunch of shows, or supposed to be doing a bunch of shows, as a celebration of his music, but he's cancelled. I think he's cancelled a couple afters as well. I think he's cancelled the Vienna show. But he's cancelled the London Royal Albert Hall this Friday. George was going to that. I think he's now getting a refund, just understandably. But basically, he travelled to London, was taken ill, is unable to conduct this Friday's concert. It's at his wish that the concert should go ahead, and his colleague and dear friend, Maestro Derek Bross, is kindly agreed to conduct the orchestra for the event. It's not good news, and we do wish him well, of course.
It's devastating. I mean, George, literally, we were messaged earlier as soon as it came up at the news up on our Facebook chat, and it was that he'd pulled out, and George, as I say, was meant to go on Friday, so he is devastated. This was he was desperate to get a ticket when it came out, announced he got a ticket in the pre-sale because he's a member of the Royal Albert Hall membership scheme, so he got a ticket. He was over the moon. To say he's devastated is a bit of an understatement on this, because it's a hard stance to have. The Vienna concerts are just for the beginning of November. They've been cancelled entirely because the selling point of these shows is John Williams. I think there will be, like George, there's going to be a lot of people asking for a refund for this show on Friday over the weekend, because yes, people are going to go, and it's still the London Symphony Orchestra. Don't get me wrong, that's still an awesome thing to see.
Yeah, it's still a performance and a half. It's whether we can expect tomorrow, maybe, or later this evening, announcement of a rescheduling. If there's a reschedule and everyone is entitled to keep hold of their tickets, I can see a bunch of people doing that instead of...
Royal Albert Hall actually tweeted out earlier, someone asked that very question, and their word was, no, we're going to go ahead with the show on Friday. If he is well enough to do a show in the future, it'll be a brand new show with a brand new ticket base. Tickets will not be valid. And that's what I'm telling people to phone the box office.
You've done my thinking for me then, basically. In which case, yes, I can see a lot of refunds. A lot of people... I mean, don't get me wrong, I reckon there'll also be a bunch of people who go, well, they'll jump on it because of the refunds. There'll be tickets available. I see people jumping on it and getting one. Because as you said, it's still the London Symphony Orchestra. It's still a very special event. You're still seeing John Williams music. You're still seeing Star Wars, Harry Potter, you're still seeing a lot of music. It's just... It's taken the shine off of it and taken it's taken the unique selling point of it and taken it away. It's sad, and of course we do wish him well, but I do understand those who do want to go ahead and get a refund. It's just natural, I'm afraid.
It's a shame. I mean, you've got to worry now that he's taken ill, and he's 84 now.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's around that age. So I mean, it's an awful time to start thinking when people of that age get unwell, and they've had to cancel concerts in November already, and they've said they've no idea when he's going to be well enough to actually come back and do shows. So it's a worrying time. And this sounds so selfish and awful. Do wish him well, but you do then think about Star Wars Episode 9, which isn't done shooting, and he is meant to be scoring. But I'm guessing, obviously, all that takes a backseat to people's health. And it's a movie, and it shouldn't even be thought about. But in my own head,
I mean, yeah, no. Naturally, I can see why and where you've gone down that path. And I agreed. Yeah, again, it's something that fans will think of. Whether it from what intention is neither here nor there. You're not wishing ill. You're just wondering about the future of the franchise and who would step into his shoes, or if they would.
Michael Giacchino.
That's my thought as well. I actually have to admit, he has been announced to be doing the score for Spider-Man Far From Home, which actually makes me really excited for that, but that's neither here nor there. We, of course, do wish him well. We want to see him finish up the saga, but for now, we will just leave him with that. Hopefully, all will be well, and hopefully he'll return, but it is what it is. The next bit of news we have is one that I think is probably one of the coolest bits of news we have on the show, which is George Lucas visiting the set of The Mandalorian for Jon Favreau's birthday. When you end up with a picture of Jon Favreau, George Lucas, and Dave Filoni together, it's just... There's no words to describe it. That is Star Wars heaven in a nutshell. It's just incredible.
It is perfect. Obviously, Dave Filoni's directing the first episode of The Mandalorian.
When I saw that, I lost my mind. I know George was going on more about Taika Waititi, and I love Taika Waititi, love his stuff, love Void in the Shadows, love Thor Ragnarok. But I'm sorry, Dave Filoni finally directing live-action Star Wars makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, have we got the pictures, or are we talking about the pictures in here?
We'll talk about the pictures. Yes, we don't have the pictures on here, but we will talk about the pictures, of course.
So yeah, we had two pictures released by Jon Favreau's. I think it's on his Facebook or his Instagram.
Yeah.
And he released firstly a picture what looks like a weird white prop. If you don't know Empire Strikes Back very well, and if you're watching this, of course you do, there's a guy running through the corridor of Bespin holding what is essentially an ice cream maker. It was obviously just used as a prop because it looked a bit spacey. But yeah, it's back in. That prop is being used again. Obviously, probably a new one, much more fashionable ice cream maker. So that was cool to see. People were a little flipped out by that.
Proper background, I would be so happy. Just even you find ways, it's just a water condenser. Okay, that's fine. It's a moisture evaporator. We don't care. We know what it is now. For now, it's just known as this ice cream maker. I mean, if you watch some of the videos from Star Wars Celebration, there are people who literally cosplay the guy running around with an ice cream maker. It is a legitimate thing.
it's absolutely insane.
And
while
brilliant.
That is pretty cool in itself, what is the most exciting thing is the gun picture. If people haven't seen this, it will be posted up on everywhere. You can find it no matter where you look. The gun we already saw over the Mandalorian shoulder, the butt of the rifle that he's carrying. It was then shown the full rifle, and that rifle is literally the rifle from the Star Wars Holiday Special short animation in the middle of it. The little cartoon they have, which is the best part of the Holiday Special.
You can polish a turd.
Yeah, it is. I was about to try and defend it, but I can't.
No, there is
watch it once, enjoy it for what it is, have a good laugh, probably have a drink while you're watching it.
Who we've had on here before, watch it with the riff tracks, and you'll love it.
It is awful. But this gun was in a cartoon, was in that little animated short that they had in the middle of the Holiday Special. And it's literally they've brought that to life to add to this. The fact that's been brought into canon,
proof that Jon Favreau is one of us.
Yes, exactly that. It is exactly that. That piece, just when I saw it, I was like, no way. It is. It's amazing that they brought this to be, by the looks of it, his main weapon, because it's over his shoulder in the hero shot we had already.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen of this series, I get more and more excited every bit of news that drops.
I've seen a grand total of 4 photos. We have seen an ice cream maker, a gun, the Mandalorian himself, and the 3 amigos palling around on set. And yes, we've seen 3 things, and we go yes. And the synopsis. Although I did overhear someone on the coach was at the NFL the other day going, "Oh, it's a series about Boba Fett," and like, you had no idea how much I wanted to shout at it. You're wrong! But I always try and refrain myself. The problem is I have been in situations before where people have said things and I have corrected them, and they just look at me going, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And I don't care. No, you're wrong. Therefore, I must correct you. You do not understand this.
It has to be put right. You're right.
Yes.
But it's really exciting times. This series is going to be hopefully amazing. Everything's in place for it to be brilliant.
the thing is, of course, this is aimed at a more mature audience. When I say more mature, you're talking teenagers and up, you're talking 15 and up, that kind of bracket. Whereas, of course, Resistance is aimed at a younger audience. However, Resistance is good. We've already talked about it, and even George, on his limited watching, was still pleasantly surprised. But this just looks on another level, though. Okay, we've been waiting for a live-action Star Wars show since, what, 2004, 2005, when they initially announced
started discussing it, yeah, when Rick McCallum was always talking about it when he was doing the production on the first
Rick
three.
McCallum, yes.
But he was always going about a live-action show. That was a big story back then. Then they brought out 1313, the cancelled game, and that was going to be based around the same world that we're going to do. I know.
Cool.
And that was going to be around the same world, so they're going to incorporate that into the live action, but it just went away, and now for us to finally be getting a Star Wars TV show and it looking like they can only make it bad by accident. Surely they can't. It looks like it's going to be so good. Everything so far, you're right, 4 pictures in the description. Looks great.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it is literally 4 pictures in the description, but also the synopsis as well. You couldn't have put it in safer hands unless you put it in Filoni, and Filoni's directing episode 1, so we're fine. That's my whole look of it is we are fine as long as they take care of it. You know it's going to be good. The problem is you just didn't know until they started releasing these pictures. I mean, the ice cream maker is a dead giveaway that yes, they are looking after him. And the gun is a very, very cool throwback, and it's one that it's proof he's one of us. But the ice cream maker is one of those subtle details that just elevates it that next level. Next, we're going to talk about. I can reckon we'll talk about for quite a while. It's actually a very interesting and controversial piece of news. Now, to give it context, earlier this year we saw James Gunn fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for tweets. We've seen other people in the past fired or slated for tweets from the past, and it's happened again, but this time in the Star Wars universe, something that I personally didn't think we'd be reporting. So Marvel has pulled Chuck Wendig's Shadow of the Vader series. Now, Marvel, as you know, handled the bulk of the Star Wars comic book series. You have IDW doing the Star Wars Adventures and Force of Destiny comics, which is a very, very short line. So two lines they do, and the Force of Destiny were limited anyway, so it's really just Star Wars Adventures. But Marvel handle the rest of the license because it's owned by Disney. It's their in-house comic publication. It's going to happen. And if you don't know who Chuck Wendig is, he wrote the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy, which personally I love. It's got so many characters that I adore in it. You have Snap Wexley. You have basically his introduction to the Star Wars universe, his first appearance. You find out about Nora, his mum. You find out Mr. Bones, who is a B1 battle droid with a vibro sword with an arm, and he's mental. Admiral Sloane, again, one of the best characters created so far in the book and comic book world. She's in A New Dawn. She's in Aftermath. She's in the Kanan comic book series. Basically, she's in a lot. So it's a great trilogy. I recommend it for anyone out there who wants to know what happened after Return of the Jedi. However, he has been pulled from his new Shadow of Vader series, which was supposed to continue immediately after this main Vader series run. It was announced on October 5th, and literally, a couple of days later, he was pulled. And so reading the press release we have here, the series intended to look at Darth Vader through the eyes of a number of different characters across multiple eras of the franchise. And it's brilliant because he had a fan favorite background character from The Empire Strikes Back, a Morgue attendant on the Death Star, and Acolytes of the Beyond, who are a cult obsessed with Vader, who are mentioned in Aftermath, who are also kind of referenced in The Force Awakens in terms of the Knights of Ren. There's this mythos around Vader. There's a lot that could be done. Now, when the announcement was made, basically he was told that they're pulling him from issues 4 and 5, which does lead us to believe that issues 1, 2, and 3 will be released, with 4 and 5 being released with a different writer. And of course, this Unknown Stars book he was on also has been pulled. So a lot of unfortunate news there.
It was crazy. We were sat. I don't think we'd actually long finished our show 2 weeks ago.
No, we hadn't. It was about 20 minutes, half an hour afterwards.
So we were doing that, and obviously suddenly his Twitter exploded with a load of tweets. Well, first he's saying that he'd been fired, and then going into about 8 or 9 tweets after that of what had gone on and how quickly he'd been fired and who he thought had been removing them and why he'd been removed. And it turns out after a few days that, yeah, it was down to, again, historic tweets where he basically just language and views are a lot of political, and that's...
Which is, in this day and age, you kind of... Everyone's allowed to have a political view. The problem is people shouldn't use it to fire you. Everyone is allowed their point of view. We're not in a dictatorship. I mean, although America, with their current president, may not be the freest of places, I expect the FBI to now be invading my home, so I will, see you all when I get out of Guantanamo Bay.
You would look great in one of those orange jumpsuits.
The irony is I own an orange jumpsuit as well, so I'm ready. They just come over, just give me a second, put the clothes on, ready to go. So I'm sorted. No, I know it would match the beard.
Yeah, look great, it'd be fine.
It would. I'd be perfect, especially with hair. Oh, I'd be well away. I'll be claimed within 5 seconds. That's not the point. This show's going too dark and this is for children. The point is, though, people have a view, should be used, and whether Marvel have gone too far or not so sure. However, it's not really out of character considering what happened with James Gunn. I'm going to let you talk now if you finish dying.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the James Gunn one a bit more, although it was a decade ago, and that wasn't even taken into account. I think that's tough when you're about 10 years ago and you write something, you would never in the world expect to know where you're going to be in 10 years and what your tweets are then going to be looked at. It's a place that now, and you think, oh, it shouldn't be looked at like that, and you shouldn't be fired from a job because of what you wrote 10 years ago when you're a different person entirely. Yeah. But in this day and age, you now know you if you're in a position of authority or have a lot of people looking at you, you've got to be very careful by what's out there on social media.
The problem is when we were younger, because yes, I am old enough to have been around before a lot of this internet stuff. In fact, actually, I remember when I was in year 6, or when I was at 10, 11 years old, we were very excited because our school had its very first computer. So I remember a time before the internet. The problem is, there was a time long ago when you could say stuff and you could be stupid and no one would not really know about it, but it was contained to those who actually paid attention. Whereas now, of course, you say something in the public domain, it's gone. It's used against you for the rest of your life, even if it's unintentional, even if it's... I mean, I did read through a few of his tweets. They're not great. I still don't think it's worth firing over, but it is unfortunately the current landscape we live in. You
just have to be really, really cautious these days. It's crazy that this all goes. And now, if you think that celebrities must be really wary, because as soon as they put up any kind of tweet that is against something or slightly off color, someone out there is going to have that screen captured and kept. And who knows when they'll use that? You've got to be so careful. And it's an awful way to lose your job. And he seemed genuinely gutted about it, which it would be. It's obviously it's a killer job to have. Unfortunately, Disney have already toed that line with we're going to fire people over Twitter. So unfortunately, it was going to happen once this happened, and it is
sad, especially considering what is coming. At the moment, it's just been delayed indefinitely, but I reckon that the Shadows of Vader comic will come out at some point. They'll just put another writer on for parts 4 and parts 5. As for the book, they have other contract writers. Someone will take the draft if one's been submitted and do it. If not, that book will be cancelled, or so basically they'll hand it out to someone else. I mean, it's not the end of the world for Star Wars fans in terms of people like myself who love the background. But it's just sad for those people like myself who actually enjoyed his writing. I thought the first book of Aftermath was very clunky, but once you got past the first half, you kind of got into his writing style. And books 2 and 3 were just outstanding. I do highly recommend them. And anyway, moving on to another awesome bit of news. Star Wars Celebration 2019, the Friday tickets have sold out. There are a few remaining tickets, there's 200 remaining of the $55 Thursday Bounty Hunter preview tickets. So that's basically when the convention is open, but there are no panels, there's no signings, it's just a giant shopping centre basically, but exclusively for Star Wars, which is all good. And of course, there are still tickets available for the Sunday and the Monday, but however, it's just proof that after a 2-year gap, it allows that passion to come back, which we were talking about last week with the Bob Iger announcement. Again, I wholeheartedly support the fact that Star Wars needs to slow down a bit and take its time with these releases, not punch them out year after year after year.
This celebration, the minute it was announced, it was massive.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. The Friday is going to sell out very shortly. There'll only be eventually. I think you'll probably find a few Sunday tickets, maybe a couple of Monday, but then there's not really a lot goes at that last day. I mean, even at our celebration that we met at, Celebration Europe in London, with that last day, there wasn't a lot really happening. You had the filmmakers panel, feature filmmakers panel, and then everything kind of just faded off after that. It was kind of done. But it's still. I'm very jealous that George is going to be there, but we'll hopefully get some amazing reports from there.
However, it's of course is one of those things, one of our favourite events because that's where we all met. I met Dave on the Friday, and of course we both met George on the Saturday, and Dave met me from just having a go at some Germans. It's just the way it is.
It really is. Yeah, I'm sorry, German people, if you are watching, but yeah, that was what happened. Phil was trying to explain to a German how the queuing system worked, and that's when we became.
I'm a British person. I know how to queue. I know the rules of queuing. They didn't understand. I had to explain that no, although it says you make, the tickets, the wristbands have to be picked up. It's no. You must queue overnight, and then you get them in the morning. That's how this works. That's how they're handed out. You stand in a line, or you sit in a line for God knows how long until the next day, and then you are given them as and when. And if you don't wish to queue for that long, then so be it. However, get out of my queue. just the way it works. I'm British. I know how to queue. It's just the way it works.
It's going to be crazy scenes. I mean, I don't even know how big the Chicago Convention Center is that they're at, but I'm guessing it's massive.
It's huge. Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see. George, I'm sure, will get us lots of pictures. So we'll be able to get those on our Facebook page as soon as they're coming in. We'll get them all up so people can see. But I can't wait to report because Phil and I will be covering panels.
Oh, yeah, we'll be doing our usual.
Everything that happens at Celebration will be online, no matter what time. Last time it was on in Orlando, we were up crazy times in the morning. Doing shows.
I'm sure we'll bring Robin back for some special episodes. We'll arrange some guests. I mean, I'm still working on some behind the scenes guests anyway. Put feelers out. We're trying to get something special going on for that event. And it's like, that is personal to us both, and it's like games where we met. It's where the concept of the show was born. So for us, it is cool, and also, we can just tease George for paying stupid amounts of money for autographs as we send him money to pick us up stuff.
That's just pretty much, yeah. But we're not very jealous. It's just about him getting us gifts. That's all this is about.
Yes, well, I'm off to the States next week, and I will be picking up stuff from exclusive Target for myself. I've already mentioned to the guys, hey, if there's anything I can get you, I will.
Not allowed.
But anyway, moving on. We've got another piece, which this one I just had to laugh at. So there are now officially branded Star Wars candles. You heard me correctly. They're candles, the little things that you light that used to be our main source of light that now just sit and smell nice. Well, if you ever wondered what a Wookiee smells like, or the inside of the Falcon, how about the inside of the Tauntaun? You're in luck. You can now order official Star Wars scented candles. What a fantastic holiday gift for the fanboy or fangirl in your life. It has everything. Your room can also smell like the trash compactor, or even Yoda's cooking pot. Here's a list of the smells. You have Wookiee, Bantha Mill, Trash Compactor, X-Wing Cockpit, Cantina, Lightsaber Duel, Han Solo Carbonite, Millennium Falcon, inside of Tauntaun, Yoda's Cooking Pot, Rancor, Sarlacc Pit, Jabba's Palace, Ewok, and Death Star Destroyed. Now, I'm sorry, but who in their right mind buys a fragrance labelled Trash Compactor of a candle? You want something to smell nice, you're not going to go out. It's like, look, it's like you setting my bin on fire. That's not exactly going to do much. It's just going to smell horrible and create a huge fire hazard. I mean, who in their right mind labels a candle Trash Compactor?
I don't think that's the worst one. I mean, where was it? Cantina. So I've been in many a stale pub. We all know what bars smell like when there's beer in the carpets. And
it was worse when you could smoke in a pub, but yes.
Yeah,
I'm old enough to remember that as well. This is the thing. I'm older than people think.
Disgusting. Lights. What else we got?
Lightsaber Duel.
Inside of a Tauntaun. Inside of a. No,
I know.
Inside of a dead animal. No.
Rancor or Sarlacc Pit.
Sarlacc Pit. Rotting bodies over 1,000 years in a big burpy.
I think the worst one is the Death Star Destroyed. It's like it's
the smell of death. Death and metal. Not death metal. Death and metal. And
it's the most metal thing out there, but no, it's the smell
yeah.
That's again why it plays in the background. It's fine. But I'm serious though. I mean, it's how could you just Death Star Destroyed? Here we have hundreds of thousands of people who were literally
Just contractors going about their business.
I just had a message from my friend who's watching the episode going, "What an incredible smell you've discovered!" Like,
oh, that's a good title. We should use that.
I was thinking of putting that for the episode, but I was like, people, no, I'll put just because of the short one. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god. But yeah, no, spell Death Star Destroyed. So basically, rebel faction, freedom fighters, terrorists, whatever you want to call them, blow up. I mean, look, I don't wish to offend anyone with this comment. I really don't. However, imagine if they released a fragrance called 9/11.
No, we're going to move on from that.
Or 7/7.
It's still too soon. No, Phil, it's still too soon.
No. You do not release something like that.
Still too soon. Anyway, this is just Dave's show now. We'll be cutting Phil off here. We'll be back as we're going to send him, say he said some offensive tweets from now on.
Look, this guy already rated my post for my earlier comments, so it's fine. It's fine.
It just, there must be nice smells like Leia's hair or, well, you know, other things that could be nice in Star Wars. There can't just be, what could we get the worst smell? Nothing else. Yankee are making none of those candles. I'm telling you that right now.
When you plant the milk, you kind of go, okay, but what if it had been whatever the creature was that Luke had in episode?
That Luke's milking, yeah. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Green candle, there it is.
X-Wing cockpit. Has anyone been in an old sports car? That's what I'm imagining. You know, grease, oil, bit of leather,
and aging.
Yeah, exactly.
Anger,
it's just
a lot of that.
I mean, lightsaber duel. What does light smell like?
What? That just makes no sense.
It doesn't. Lightsaber duel to me is just, wait, what? So, okay, you're taking two bits of light, you may hit them together, and the smell's kind of burning, and you're kind of creating that burning. Is this just going to be a candle that just burns?
It's just literally just a wick, and you can't keep blowing it out to get the smell.
Yeah.
An Ewok. I've been near dogs that have been out in the woods for a long time. That's not a good smell.
That one's subjective, I think, to people who enjoy woods. But yes, I completely agree. Yoda's cooking pot could smell nice, though.
Well, it could.
It depends what's in it. I mean,
when he tried what he made, it looked disgusting.
I mean, Luke kind of liked it. It's like he did go, it's better than I thought. So you never know.
This is a stupid idea.
Inside of Tauntauns, I think is the worst one purely because you already have the. So I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
It's just,
and the smells of the inside of a Tauntaun.
I just don't get.
One of the prevailing images of the Rancor is just the salivating. I mean, anyone who has had a dog or knows a dog who salivates, again, you're kind of going down that path of just.
It seems absolutely insane that so.
I mean, Jabba's palace. They could have done Maz's castle. They could have done any fine establishment, but Jabba's palace, really? Again,
I think the interior of Lando's Falcon. Now there you're talking. That would have smelled good.
Oh, that would have smelled. Also, it's Millennium Falcon. It could be Lando's Falcon.
It's just.
Just seems like carbon carbonite. What is that supposed to smell like?
Like frozen stuff.
It's like if you're taking a hunk of meat out of the freezer and let's defrost for a while. Is that what it's supposed to smell?
I just don't. It makes no sense. I'm sure they will be lovely, and the people who are making these, I'm sure they'll make a lot of money from these candles. But it's just
that same friend is
to me as a
shocked by my comment.
As someone who, I love a Yankee candle, especially around Christmas. But this seems like a bad idea.
It doesn't seem like a bad idea. It's like a terrible idea. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, as I said, the inside of a Tauntaun, the Death Star, destroyed Death Star. It's just so much death and destruction. The inside of the Sarlacc. I mean, who wants? Especially it burps. You know it makes disgusting noises and sounds, and you know it's going to smell bad. And, okay, it's one of those things of if people wish to do that, then I can't imagine them selling well. But all power to those who try. So we've moving on to our next piece of this one. This one you have to understand. I think is also coming from the way of how much slack they've taken sometimes. But Wreck-It Ralph has pulled a Kylo Ren joke, and we've got the joke here. So it's not the joke. We've got kind of what it was, but it was the director said at one point we had a joke about Kylo Ren being kind of a spoiled child. We went to Lucasfilm and said, here's what we're doing. They said, well, we prefer he didn't show him as a spoiled child, he is our villain. We prefer if he didn't do that. So we're respectful of that. The problem is, it's been released to the public, so we know that they were going to do that. And the general consensus of Kylo Ren is he is kind of a brat. He's a 30-year-old brat, but he's a brat.
It's a child in a helmet, as we all know. But it's, yeah, I don't see... I know that Disney were kind of... Once they took over and they decided they would kind of take out the comedy element, they had this whole series, Star Wars Detours. People have probably heard of it, which is a comedy series animated by Seth Green. The guys do bad.
I've seen the trailer. It's going to be terrible, but it's great just to see them poking fun at themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it was done by the guys who Robot Chicken. So if you enjoyed some of the humor in that, it would have been just like that. But Lucasfilm were like, no, please, we'll release new films. We don't want the characters to be like that. So they pulled that. So
the point was made that it had been around long enough that it can poke fun at itself now.
I don't see why they pull this. I think it's they've done plenty. I mean, Saturday Night Live, where they did Matt the technician.
The technician, yeah.
So they're already poking fun at Kylo Ren. It's just it's in a cartoon as well. It's a kids' cartoon. There's Darth Vader's in it. The X-wings and TIE fighters, stormtroopers are in it. There's a lot of things from Star Wars in Ralph Breaks the Internet, whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, it should be called Ralph.
Yeah,
they got that joke in there. I'm like, why didn't? It makes no sense, but okay.
So it's just I don't see why it needed to be pulled. I think it would have been good humor and would have been nice to get another Star Wars reference in there as well. It's good to have these in there because it's going to be seen by so many people, and you know what? An extra eye on a Star Wars joke and go, oh yeah, that's right, and go revisit Star Wars. That's what that envisions to me. And to pull a joke out for just it being, shows him as a bit petulant. Yes, he is. Shows me a bit of yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, okay then.
Yeah. So I thought it's kind of unfortunate, at the same time as, well, Disney being over-controlling. The next bit of news, we have a final bit of news, is Paul Duncan has released a new behind-the-scenes, or releasing a new behind-the-scenes book. So think you know everything there is to know about the design and production of the original trilogy, think again. As a new behind-the-scenes title from author Paul Duncan will surely reveal details of the making the original trilogy that you're not aware of before. The book is called The Star Wars Archives, 1977 to 1983, and is available on the Taschen Books website for the low price of $200, with a aim to be released by December. I've had a look at the book itself and look at the previews. It does look stunning. There's a lot of on-set photographs, a lot of concept art from the Ralph McQuarrie concept art, a lot of set photos. There's a lot of stuff in it, but it is $200. That's 604 pages, so there's a lot of pages in the book, but it's a bit pricey. I
love some of these books.
I'm not the only one, but yeah.
But I mean, there's the Making of Star Wars books. I'm looking down the screen because I'm trying to find who it was by. Is it J.W. Rinsler, who did the Making of Star Wars, Making of Empire, Making of Return of the Jedi? They are big coffee table books. I have 3 of those. And I think you can get those probably about, they're quite rare, the bigger ones now, so you're probably looking at still about £30-40 for a book, which is a lot, but £200 for one book? I'm sorry, that's obscene, and that is goading Star Wars fans again. I wrote a book about Star Wars, there's its price tag. Yeah, it is a lot of pages, but get the Rizzler books, they are amazing.
Yeah, no, they are, but $200, it looks nice, but no, not 200. There's no Star Wars this week. We had all our news from NYCC the previous episode, and I, of course, put the Chuck Wendig story in the main news because actually I thought it went beyond Star Wars itself. Toy Shove, we on to that. So the Hasbro exclusive at MCM, so due to high demand and limited availability, Hasbro's convention products, so these, of course, being the Han and Leia 2-pack, there's a Marvel Legends one, which I think is Red Skull with a Tesseract. There's a few other things they've done. So they must secure a wristband ahead of time to purchase the 5 items at the Hasbro stand N900. The Hasbro stand will be open product sales on Friday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Saturday is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday is 9 a.m. while supplies last. It's one wristband per person, per product, per day. You have a time slot to go in and collect. It is exactly the same as they did Kylo Ren from Star Wars Celebration.
It seems wise. A lot. It wasn't even written down. The thing when we got Kylo Ren, you weren't limited to one person. You were given a ticket where you could go and pick one up. And because most people that were there overnight were queuing for the wristbands for the panels. What a lot of people would then do is run straight into the queue for the Hasbro exclusive, and then go back into the queue for the exclusive.
The Friday night, and they actually had a lane open for that. And there was about 6 people in there for a couple hours before they realised that no one was bothering with it.
So, but I mean, people
on the Saturday they took it away because they realised that no one was queuing for it. They just gave the tickets to everyone who went in.
Yeah, it seems that wristbands are probably a better idea where people can't go around and get more and more, because that's a lot of people got 3, 4, 5 of those Kylo Rens.
George got 4.
Yeah, over the space, George got plenty of those to then sell when the price was high. He's a smart boy. But yeah, it's I think it's a much better way of doing it.
We don't like, but being our friend, we can't really say that.
But it is something I prefer, that's the way you do it. I do like that you got a certain time, you get a wristband, you pick it up.
Yeah.
Maybe that wristband's then cut off you at that point, so you're done, you can't go back again. And I like these things to go to fans who want them and not to people who are going to get them and immediately have them on eBay at 2, 3, 4 times their actual value.
Yes, I mean...
But to be honest, anyone buys that Han and Leia set and tries to sell it on, no one's buying that. It's awful.
It's going to be sold at retail. It's going to be sold... I mean, there'll be fans in America who I'm sure will pay through the nose for it because, of course, being a European exclusive, but we shall see. Walgreens have announced an exclusive young Han Solo and young Obi-Wan pop. They both look cool, but again, it's pop doing it the wrong way round. Give everyone what they want, and then make exclusives of cool stuff, but do 1 or 2 a year. Don't go, well, here, we're going to just give exclusives to random people in random places, and the most of the stuff will just be Rose sat there that nobody wants.
I picked up my Rose pop just the other day, which I'm quite proud of. Now she sits on top of my pile. Because now George has stopped collecting pops, I've decided to collect pops.
Yeah, you're now the Star Wars King pop. I only
have
have 15 Star Wars pops, I think. I have a huge amount.
I'm up to 40-something now. That's grown really quickly. It didn't mean to happen, but it did. But places are selling, you can get them really cheap at the minute. Some places.
You can't buy anymore because of your other recent purchase.
I'm not talking about that, Phil. We might mention it with the next story, but we'll keep it really quiet. Yes. Oh, Dave's bad. But yes, so pops. I will look at some of these things. It is hard to get the. It's hard to get exclusives. There's only a few exclusives that become really exclusive, like the Comic-Con Qui-Gon, where there's only 2,000 pieces supplied. The Walgreens exclusives, the Target exclusives.
The Celebration Fallen I've not seen really anywhere else since then.
The glow in the dark.
No, the one that was.
Sorry.
We were there.
Yes, sorry. No, you're right. There's that one. So some of them are harder to get than others, but it's.
Of course, we both know because George had Cad Bane as well.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Cool. We were one of those things we all wanted. Like we're not going to be able to get it, but oh well, it's fine. George was like, I'm going. You want one? Yes, we'll both have one. We'll take it.
But no, I'm loving the pops, and I'm really quite getting them. But yeah, you're right. I can't buy anything until after Christmas now. I've been banned. But we'll talk about that shortly.
Well, I'll let you talk about the last story of the evening. Well, the last story of Toy Shelf, and you can then explain.
Yeah, so last night of Toy Shelf is the London Science Museum is to host a Lego Star Wars Build the Galaxy event. So let's read this from press release. Fans of Lego Star Wars can help create the ultimate brick-built galaxy far, far away. This November is part of a new event taking place at London Science Museum the 3rd and 4th of November. Lego Star Wars Build the Galaxy will see builders join forces in the capital for 2 days to create epic Lego brick landscapes inspired by some of the most iconic planets from the Star Wars saga. Under guidance from Lego Star Wars builders, guests will create landscapes from Star Wars on planets Crate, Tatooine, and outer space as part of sessions across the weekend. Their own built mini Lego brick landscapes forming part of a larger planetary display. Sounds awesome. It sounds like a load of people who love Lego, be all ages, coming together to build massive, whatever they want. I'm guessing there'll be sand areas and it's
I think you and your little boy would love that. I reckon.
It's just something I forget my son. I would love to be like, well, give me that now. Has anyone got a great tour?
Yeah.
It is something that would be amazing to be at. I think that is.
Yeah, we'll try and put the link for the tickets on our Facebook or one of our social media pages. If not, you can look it up. There are free prize draws, 4 tickets per family. They're giving them out loads. It's one of those things. If you enter for it enough, you'll get almost guaranteed to get one. I don't think it's going to be a huge amount of people As in, there's not going to be hundreds of thousands of people going to it, so you're almost guaranteed to get one. Just look it up on Google. I mean, I'm not here for it. I actually would be tempted to go if I was around. I would almost actually certainly go. It does look a really cool event, and for anyone who does go, I said just look up the event. So it's Lego. Lego Star Wars Build the Galaxy, London Science Museum. You'll be able to find the information online pretty easily. Then we move on to our last section of the evening games. There's only one news story, and that is for Clone Wars fans, for Star Wars Battlefront 2, they've announced that certain voice actors are returning. So you have Matthew Wood doing General Grievous, who's coming on October 30th, James Arnold Taylor, who's doing Obi-Wan, coming in November, Corey Burton, who's Count Dooku, coming in January, and Matt Lanter, Anakin Skywalker in February, which by that point no one will still be playing the game. EA, you have screwed up again. I mean, great we're having the characters back. It's great they're doing new lines of dialogue. Great to have new camera appearances and the rest of it. But I'm sorry, but this game has been out for nearly a year now, and this whole thing of it's free DLC. We're doing like the season pass. A lot of going into 4 events. Yeah, we've got so much coming, and there's been nothing, and they've screwed up by doing microtransactions. Okay, no microtransactions. Okay, microtransactions for some. Okay, here are some skins that you've wanted for a long time, but we're going to make you pay through the nose for it, or you can kind of earn it if you want to, but it'll take you so long that you'll just give up and not play the game anymore. It's EA. Any company out there, this is an example of how not to do a game and how to piss off a fan base.
It's all too little too late. I mean, This is an amazing add-on as well. Having the actual voice cast the Clone Wars to
great
characters in the game is superb. It's a lovely touch, and that's something that would have drawn me in to play that loads when it was there.
If this had been done 6 months ago and you got the Clone Wars, all of the content in one big chunk, brilliant. Solved a lot of their issues. To do it how they're doing it is just... it's frustrating. And it's just killing off the player base.
There's no reason for me now to go back and play that game at all.
I
might check in when these voices come on there, when the characters are released. But
I last played it 3 months ago.
It didn't hold out long enough. People rattled through the single player. People wanted more. And it just has not been coming. And now they're starting to say, right, we're doing stuff. Well, no one's playing the game. We've all moved on.
Yeah, and the big problem is it's not like Dave and I are fair weather Star Wars fans. We are big fans. We do a show every 2 weeks. We went to Star Wars Celebration where we met. We've been friends for 3 years because of Star Wars. We've known each other for a couple of years now. We know what we're doing. There's a reason why we sit here and we don't get it wrong. Every person who listens, every person who watches, we thank you all. We love having you back. We love the interaction with you guys. When you comment, it makes us happy. We love that interaction. So don't get us wrong. We are big fans, but this is the unfortunate reaction you're getting from said big fans. When you have people that you know will easily lay down the money, happily lay down the money, and this is how you treat them. Pay attention. Every other company, this is not how you treat a fan base.
No, not at all. And you know what? That's enough time for them. It's just been rubbish from start to finish, really. It's badly handled. It's about time some other studio came in and made a Star Wars game that we'd actually really could be proud of and talk about in a really positive manner.
Bring back 1313.
Bring it back. They'll just call it the Mandalorian, the game. It'll just be a offshoot of the series.
That would be incredible. Anyway, enough of a very bad game company. There's no Resistance Rewind this week. When we had the first 3 episodes, we didn't realise they were literally giving us the first 3 weeks. So there's no Resistance Rewind this week. However, when we're back in 2 weeks' time, we'll have Hightower and I don't know what the 5th episode's called. Sorry,
no idea.
We'll have a review of both the Hightower and 5th episode. We may or may not have George. We don't know what we're doing for that yet. But yeah, that's it for this evening. We have a bit of Cantina talk for you this evening. I put it in purely because I was like, well, we're going to be going through this rather quickly, and indeed we are. We came on early, and we've still rattled through it in 40 minutes.
It's
insane. However, so background characters we would like to see fleshed out in either comic book form or in book form. Now, the Star Wars galaxy is huge. There's a lot of characters and there's a lot of cameos or appearances. And I've actually got a few in my mind. Admiral Trench. Admiral Trench in the Clone Wars, great general. He was told beforehand he was really undefeated. He knew what he was doing. Half tarantula, half kind of. I mean, he was originally called Admiral Turanch. They renamed him Admiral Trench. But if you actually read the Orabesh in the report that Obi-Wan delivers to Anakin, it actually says Admiral Turanch in the Orabesh, and like it's that's proper nerdy, but I love it. But yeah, he was one of those characters from the Clone Wars. You just end up going, well, he was in 2 story arcs, and I want to see more. I want to see more of his background. A lot of the Separatist stuff in there, like Commander Lockdurd, voiced by George Takei. It's like, yes, please, give me more George Takei in Star Wars, please. I mean, yes, we had the Clone Wars coming next year, but I would like them to do a spin-off, like canon comic book series or something along the lines, or a few books along with the Clone Wars, expanding that, because we had in book form we had Dark Disciple, and then in comic book form we've had Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir. That was by Dark Horse, and then you've had the Darth Maul comic book series, and now you've had the Kanan comic book series. And of course, you've got the Age of Republic coming out very shortly, which begins with Maul and Obi-Wan. So there's a lot of Clone Wars material, but there's not base material. There's no material on the Clone Wars or in the Clone Wars. I want to see more of Admiral Turanch or Admiral Trench, whichever you wish to choose, and some of the more Separatist side. You see a lot of the Republic. You know more of the Republic. You know more of the generals. You know more about the Jedi. You know more about. There's so much more there, but from the Separatist side, Admiral Turanch for sure.
When you put this up as what we're going to talk about, at first I thought, oh, it's quite a tough thing, but then I thought, no, I know exactly what I want. And it would be just a one-off, probably a graphic novel. I want to see Luke from the moment that after we see it was like after the destruction of his new Jedi, from him leaving, from when he decides that that's it, I'm going, to when Rey shows up at the bottom of that, holding his lightsaber out. I would love to see that as just literally nothing else but him. Every panel, nobody else in the story, his thoughts, everything that went through his mind, what he thought when he got there.
I reckon if we see that, we after episode 9.
Yeah, without a doubt, you couldn't. It would be, but that is literally that. I want to see just a one thing, just Luke, nobody else involved. Maybe the caretakers and Porgs, but
background characters.
You did say background characters.
Luke is not a background character. He's kind of a big
Radis. Admiral Radis. He would be awesome.
Yes.
See one where he came from because obviously he's blue, so I want to see where he's from.
Well, he's from Mon Cala. It's just there are different colours of the Mon Calamari. You racist.
Cold water, yeah. But no, I just want to see like how he'd be interesting to see how he rose up and how he got started in the rebellion and that side. So he, as a background character, he would be my background character. Technically, if we're looking at the sequel trilogy, then Luke is pretty much a background character. I can win on that, right?
Yeah,
technicality.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in episode 7, he got paid $1 million to say nothing, and in episode 8, he did more in episode 8 actually. He was a background character.
On the technicality, I'm still going with my Luke story because I think it would be amazing to have literally.
Don't get me wrong. That would be also something I do want to see. I want to see a lot of the. I want to actually see a series which is the Jedi Academy, then the Knights of Ren, the ending of the Academy, and what Luke does afterwards. So I want to actually see it quite fleshed out. But yeah, no, that would be cool to see. Again, it's the thing for me. There's a lot of. It was a Clone Wars era, but yes, if you go into the sequel trilogy era, you now have Resistance that's being put in there. So you have some stuff with fan favorite Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron and fan favorite Phasma. Yes, there's background cool
Bill's
stuff.
Very favorite character.
Yes, my favorite character. But don't rant about in any way, shape, or form. In fact, at least in the first episode, the cool new First Order TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, that was cool. But anyway, so yes, there's cool characters. Want to see the background of like Ponda Baba and Dr. Estelos. I mean, they popped up again in Rogue One. They've got to have some background somewhere. Well, they have the death sentence. Why do they have the death sentence? What do they do?
Yeah.
Who do they do it to? Come on, give us this background.
I want to see all the other 12 systems.
Yeah, if we could. Well, I think Jeddah was one of those systems. I think.
It's just going to be.
If we can have ice cream making it back, we can have background. Like Robot Chicken, it gives you that background of him being an architect.
That's all you need, just stuff like that. But no, I still think that there's so much scope in this world that we're never going to run out of people or places to talk about in this universe. It could go on forever if they slow it down and don't run it to the ground, which they're taking notice now. But I just think there's so much stuff that can be written about, and people want to be involved with it. People are excited to be involved in Star Wars. People want to write things and bring in characters that they've loved from, and you like to say, someone who appeared maybe for 5 minutes in the background of something. It's people want to write about these and where their place in the universe was, and it's all there to be taken. But my Luke story is best, and it should be done.
Yeah, well, it's better than what they had in the Legends of Luke Skywalker, which was the story, which I think is just. They are legends, and not everything is entirely true. That is the one where I go, no, this did not happen in any way, shape, or form. There was no control between Luke against the Rancor. No, just no. I mean, I'd much rather read a Phasma story than read that again. Seriously.
Ooh, harsh.
Exactly. Well, that bombshell, it's time to end the show. Yes, I mean, as per usual, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. Anything else to add this evening?
No, just again, a massive thank you to everybody who's been on this, who's watching, who's listening, and it means the world that people are watching us and listening to us drawl on for a best part of an hour every 2 weeks. So we will be back in 2 weeks again. Hopefully there'll be some more news. If not, we'll rattle through a really short episode with the little tidbits we can find.
Indeed. So, as per usual, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment on our Facebook page. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're all over social media. We don't pay attention to it much, but we are all over it. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks' time. So, we've been Wonders of the Force, and the Force will always be with you. Good night.